I mean, really, how much closer to the truth can you get? You can't. But it's really funny when these Scientology supporters, whether they're Scientologists themselves or not, go on about the truth and all that stuff about what they learn and things like that. That it's really ironic that the truth and stuff and things that they get are all pretty much even less believable and less legitimate than the information we're using to try to bring light to all the crap that goes on inside. I mean, seriously, you have people that listen to a tape of a guy that's been dead for God knows how long, and they're taking his word as essentially gospel. And although that may be fine from a faith point of view, the fact that they use that information to try to drag other people in and ruin their lives, taking all of their money, cutting them off from their family, trying to prosecute people like me who try to, just speak their mind about what they think about all the other information they've ever gotten from the witness testimony, the court documents, and other stuff. I mean, hell, really? Like, seriously, who are you to say that, oh, this is a bunch of bullshit? I could just as soon say that to any of your so-called beliefs, but I don't, because they're just your beliefs. This is not about beliefs. This is about keeping people from being dragged in a situation and preyed upon. You're taking people in their darkest moments, and they're good people because you promise to help the planet. And those people want to help the planet, and that makes them good people. And what do? You use them, you abuse them, you keep them in. You'll have to follow a million and a half rules, and if they have kids, chances are likely that they're probably going to sign up for the Sea Org because it's their little slave labor military branch. And they use these kids to build their buildings and to do all of their BS labor and brainwash them from the moment that they're born. Brainwashing is a bad term. I should say conditioning them. That's more accurate. To surround them by happy Scientologists who are happy with Scientology, and they're not allowed to leave any of their bases or any of their little organization buildings. I mean, seriously. Like, sometimes I wonder what really goes on in these kids' head, whether they think they're living in some magical world that doesn't actually exist, miles away from actual society. I'm thinking that there's at least thousands of kids out there that we don't even know exist because things are kept so secret within Scientology's walls. I mean, the barbed wire pointing inside is like, it's not necessarily that they're trying to keep people from getting in as much as they're trying to keep people from getting out. Why? Why would you be so afraid of the world? But it's despicable, and it's ridiculous, and it's stupid, and I really don't know why I have to keep saying it, but I want to say it, so I will. So there's still people out there that are inside, and they're afraid to say anything at all because of all the crap they get put through when they say anything. And it's a little tragic, I mean, you got kids, you got adults, you got everybody, and they're all scared because they were made to be scared because they were conditioned by a group of people who have been doing this for the past 50 years, and they know how to turn people on each other. I mean, people are not, immune to being conditioned. I mean, people are naturally learners. So it's really a matter of how you get these people to learn and how you get them to learn how to apply that information to their life. Whereas you can teach somebody how to use, teach someone how to cook, and then you teach someone how to integrate that cooking into their lifestyle, so a person who would normally never do any cooking at all, puts it in their life somehow. It's the same thing with Scientology. You get a hold of someone, you get them in there long enough, and eventually they will stay of their own accord because that's what they know. They know that they're supposed to stay inside. The science of knowing, apparently. That's what Scientology means, knowing how to know or whatever it is. But yeah, that's basically how it works. It's a big scam. I mean, when you don't allow someone to see contradictory information, how legitimate is your position exactly? I've always had the opinion that if something is legitimate, then it should be able to stand up to all kinds of scrutiny. And even if it isn't 100% sure, standing up to that scrutiny will allow you to cut away the parts that don't work. And from what I understand, Scientologists want to make Scientology work. Then they're inside, they have this little program, Keep Scientology Working. Why don't you do that? Why don't you try to come up with some real answers? Try to figure things out. Try to accept information and not simply just come up with an excuse. an excuse to not listen. I listen to Scientologists. I used to listen to Scientologists a lot until I basically realized they were all saying the exact same thing. And like I say, if a troll, for example, sends me information, I really would appreciate it if it was something a little original. And this is why. I've already heard it all before. I'm bored. I need to hear something more. Otherwise, I'm not learning anything new. And if I'm not learning anything, then what's the point in listening at all? Now, there's been a lot of other people, well, at least there's been some people that disagree with this so-called anonymous protest and say there's more important things to do, etc., etc. But really, when it comes down to it, this whole battle with the so-called Church of Scientology, it's on a more personal level, I think, about the human condition and how we address cults to begin with, and how we address peer pressure and mind control or conditioning. How we raise our kids and how we interact with the world when we're terrified of it, or at least terrified it like a Scientologist would be terrified of it if they stay in long enough. They're conditioned to not like psychiatry and to change the meanings of words that we, a word misunderstanding. Psychiatry means something other than psychiatry. It's a ridiculous joke. But, yeah, anyways, this video is probably going to be in 2 parts. So I'm just going to end it now. And hopefully that somebody out there is listening and at least tries to figure things out, at least for themselves. And even though I may encourage you to investigate Scientology of your own accord, don't simply take their word for it. Don't take their word for it any more than taking my word for it. I'm just a person with an opinion, and I'm sharing that opinion with you. And hopefully out there you'll draw your own conclusions, and hopefully that conclusion will be the one that works best for you and doesn't end up destroying you and separating you from your family. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.